all the dignitaries, participants, and resource persons to the webinar on gender sensitization and social justice, jointly organized by the IQAC, a women's cell of St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala, and St. Joseph's College of Education, Mysore. So let's start the program by invoking the blessings of God Almighty. I invite Ms. Rosu Amsoy of second year B.Ed Physical Science Education from St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala, for the prayer song.
Rain down your words, O Lord. Heal my aching heart and soul. Open my eyes to give the thanks to you. Rain down your words, O Lord. Your word is my life. Your word is my food. Your word is my soul. My life will be animated to your words. My life will be animated to your words. Rain down your words, O Lord.
We are honored and extremely happy with the presence of Reverend Dr. Sister Priya Matthew, Principal of St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala. She is a very active and vibrant personality with great academic vision and achievements. She constantly encourages the students to organize all curricular and co-curricular activities, even during this pandemic, through online platforms. I welcome Reverend Dr. Sister Priya Matthew to deliver the welcome speech.
Good morning to one and all. Respected Dr. Priya Matthew, Principal, St.Joseph College of Education, Mysore, Mr. Stebi Maveli, CEO, St.Joseph Colleges under MDES, Resource Person, Dr. T.C. Thangachan, Associate Professor, St.Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala, and Mrs. Shalom Sanyuda, Assistant Professor, St.Joseph College of Education, Mysore, members of faculty and students of St. Joseph and St. Thomas College of Education. A warm welcome to the webinar on gender sensitization and social justice, jointly organized by St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala, and St. Joseph's College of Education, Mysore. We live in a society where gender is ingrained in the mindset of the people. We have assigned inflexible roles to each gender, and this has affected our relations both at the workplace and in our home. But as times change, these roles have to be revised. We need to be sensitive and empathetic to the needs of the other gender. Lack of gender sensitivity has led to discrimination and injustice in our society. Gender sensitization alone can put an end to social injustice. As teachers, we have a significant role to play in the gender sensitization process in a society. We should be able to mold a generation that is gender sensitive. I sincerely hope this webinar will help us pave the way for the better society and life. It is my privilege to welcome Dr. Priya Matthew, Principal, St. Joseph's College, Mysore, Mr. Stebi Maveli, CEO, St. Joseph's Colleges under MDES, esteemed resource person for the day, members of faculty and students of St. Joseph and St. Thomas Colleges of Education. May I take this opportunity to introduce to you the resource persons for the webinar, Dr. T.C. Thangachan and Mrs. Shalom Sanyuda. Dr. T.C. Thangachan is a senior member of faculty of my college. He is a noted speaker and educationalist. He has been a resource person at several national and international seminars and conferences. He has authored several books. He has also To his credit, several research papers in national and international journals. I cordially welcome Dr. T.C. Tangachan to the webinar. Next, I wish to introduce Mrs. Shalom Sannidha to you. Mrs. Shalom Sannidha, Assistant Professor, St.Joseph College of Education, Mysore, is a multifaceted personality. She has proved her mettle in several fields like teaching, theatre arts, music, dance, painting, etc. She has acted as resource person and won several awards in the field of theatre arts. I extend a most cordial welcome to Mr. Shalom. On behalf of both the colleges, I extend my cordial welcome to all the participants. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sister, for your earnest welcome wishes. Now, I invite Dr. Priya Matthew, the principal of St. Joseph's College of Education, Mysore, to felicitate the webinar session. She was a teacher in the M.Ed session of St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala, for several years. She is very close and attached to the Pala STCTA family, and she had done her PhD under the guidance of our former principal, Reverend Dr. Sister St.Joseph. She has reached the zenith of excellence, not only with respect to academic aspects, but also with respect to administrative activities. I cordially invite Dr. Priya Matthew for the felicitation.
Thank you, Anusha. A very good morning to one and all. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
I'm delighted to address the teachers and student teachers of St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala, Kerala, and St. Joseph's College of Education, Mysore, Karnataka. It's an emotional moment for me to have the faculty of St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala, join this webinar as it takes me down the memory lane of my teaching as well as doing my research there. In the light of celebration of Golden Jubilee year of St. Joseph's College of Education, Mysore, this academic year, we are organizing different activities and programs focused on attainment of sustainable development goals adopted at the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit. The SDGs are a collection of 17 global goals designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all by 2030. Among the 17 SDGs, the fifth goal is gender equality, which aims to eliminate all forms of discrimination and violence against women in the public and private spheres, and to undertake reforms to give women equal rights to economic resources and access to ownership of property. Empowering women and promoting gender equality is crucial in accelerating sustainable development. And the 17th goal aims to encourage and promote partnership and share knowledge, expertise, technologies, and financial resources to support the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Considering these goals and the UGC guidelines, the women of both the colleges have taken the initiative to mutually organize this webinar. This joint venture will be a new experience since it includes the sharing of knowledge between the two institutions on the topic of gender sensitization and social justice. Gender sensitization is the process of changing the stereotype mindset of a men and women. Mindset that strongly believes that men and women are unequal entities. Gender bias is prejudice or preference towards one gender over the other. Sometimes it happens consciously, sometimes unconsciously. It's sometimes subtle and sometimes obvious. In my opinion, individuals need to be more open-minded, rational, and unbiased in their thoughts and actions, without which we cannot develop gender equality. There is an urgent need to shatter in the thoughts of our orthodox beliefs. Today's resource persons Dr. T.C. Thangachan and Ms. Shalom Sanuda and the student representatives from both colleges will be sharing and exchanging their knowledge and ideas on this regard. I'm sure they will enlighten us about these issues. I would like to appreciate this innovative effort taken by the coordinators of both IQAC and Women's Cell of the colleges. I take this opportunity to thank the Mysore Diocesan Education Society, Diocese of Mysore, especially Reverend Father Vijay Kumar, Secretary and Correspondent, for his encouragement and support to organize this event. It has been a great honor to have the mutual understanding and the active collaboration of St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala. I thank the management, the principal, Dr. Sister Priya Matthew, and their enthusiastic team. We look forward to continuing to further collaborate and associate ourselves with you in the future too. It's high time we understood that gender equality is not just a women's issue. It's a human issue. It affects us all. So to start with, together, let us bridge the gender gap in every possible way in our day-to-day life. Wishing you all the best. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am, for your extremely informative and motivating words. We are very glad to have Mrs. Shalom Sanudha, Assistant Professor of St. Joseph's College of Education, Mysore, as one of the resource person of this webinar. She shows keen interest in the educative process and has distinguished work in numerous capacities. It's great honor for me to welcome Shalom ma'am to lead the session.
Not audible, ma'am. Ma'am, the audio is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
am I
ma'am, you're
audible
audible.
now? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, dignitaries, for this opportunity. Without taking much time, let me start my presentation. I hereby share my screen. So, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, it is audible.
Yes, thank you. So, before I get into the topic, I would just tell the main theme of what I have chosen under this gender sensitization and social justice. So, I have chosen a theme which is power and empowerment of women in various forms. Under that, we'll be sharing a few things about women challenging patriarchy and privilege. So, once again, welcome to the session. That's the webinar on gender sensitization and social justice. Well, to start with, we'll be discussing, or I'll be telling something about gender sensitization. Now, what is this gender sensitization? Why is this very important to know at the current scenario? What is so special about gender sensitization? Yes, we are listening a lot about gender equality and gender parity, so many things. But what is this word sensitization, which is actually making a lot of difference at this present situation? So let me start with a small incident. Assume there's a couple who have been working in the same company, who are earning the same salary, who have the same schedules and same work stress. So this is the lifestyle of the couple. So they are in the same company with same salary, with same educational qualification, and same schedule and same stress or the hectic amount of work, whichever they get. Everything is equal. As soon as they come home after a stressful day, the couple get to open the door, enter into the house, and the man starts untying his shoes, and he orders a cup of coffee. Immediately, as soon as he starts untying his shoes, he orders a cup of coffee to his wife. So this is what is happening everywhere. This seems a very relaxing or a very taking for granted note, but this is not so. When you have your spouse or when you have a person who is working equivalent to you, and as soon as you sit down and relax, you're not giving an opportunity to that person who is taking care of you, who has been a part of you, to sit back and relax. But in turn, you're ordering a cup of coffee, as easy as taking them for granted, as easy as telling them that, yes, you should serve me. This is your time to serve me now. So I don't understand what is the cause that is making people take their partners for granted like this, especially women. So how insensitive would that be if they have the same amount of work, same amount of tiredness, and still be ordering a cup of coffee as easily as telling her that, yes, this is your duty now. So you finish your duty outside, you have your own duty at home. So this kind of insensitiveness is to be understood by an individual, is to be understood and realized what is my attitude towards a person who is just working hard as equal as I am doing, who is part of what my life is about. So this kind of sensitive issues to be understood by an individual is nothing but gender sensitization. This is how I put. Okay, so these little incidents are not really little. These are micro level incidents which are giving rise to macro level incidences. And these macro level incidents will actually become issues where it raises the consciousness about the need for gender sensitization. So what is gender sensitization is about changing behavior and instilling empathy into the views that we hold about our own and the other genders. So how do you behave? How do you actually understand the other person? How do you analyze yourself? It also helps people in examining their personal attitudes and beliefs and questioning the realities that they thought they know. So most of the time, why we need gender sensitization is that we decide or we assume things that we know, or we assume things to be the same way. We assume the stereotype to continue, which is not so, which requires a definite change, which requires definitely an enormous amount of change in viewing and viewing the dimensions of perceptions of the gender issues. So I've been presenting so many micro level examples on the screen. So it's not only just the matter of cup of coffee or tea. It's also the household work. It's also the responsibilities one takes as a woman in the family, at the workplace, everywhere. So these micro level issues are actually something which leads into the macro level issues. So what are these macro level issues then? If we look back to the history, we see some of the issues like sati system, where they would bury the alive women along with the dead husband. So this is one system which is a macro level issue and which is really brutal into the issues of gender sensitization. Next, coming to the widow system, where the women, no matter what age she is, she would put into one particular room, isolated and head shaved, and she's been removed from all the lively desires and comforts in life. So this is another brutal issue where we see how gender is very dominant. So it's not just in the ancient era, it's also in the recent era where we see some adolescents who can commit, who can rape a very sophisticated women on street. And this is not a joke. This is not a, this is really insensitive, and this has to be raised. And we also have some issues like where though the Constitution gives us permission, there are women who are still oppressed with the decisions. So these are some issues why we have to raise the voice against discrimination and why we have to be aware of gender sensitization. So next is about what is this being a woman? Why always women are targeted? Why always women are considered minority? Why always women are subjected to violence? So why women? Being women itself is a challenge in life, and the problems women face is really numerous. And that includes gender discrimination, harassment, sexual abuse, lack of education, dowry-related harassment, gender pay gap, domestic violence, and much more. So women's right, here when we talk about women's right, it encompasses the entitlements and freedom for women and girls. Here when I say women, it's not just pertain to one particular community or society. It can be rural women, it can be tribal women, it can be women of lower caste, it can be women of high class status. This definition of women, or this subject of women here, includes all kinds of women who are subjected to violence, who are subjected to minority, who are subjected to girls of ages in many societies around the world. Now, these are some heart-aching facts which you have to take a look at. So this is a report which is prepared based on the survey which was done in 2015. So this report holds the survey of 2015 year alone. Only during 2015, what are the facts? So we see that on the whole, where does India stand? India is gender inequality. India stands a lowly 125th out of 159 ranked countries. And female child mortality rate is 17% higher than that of boys in India. The female literacy rate is comparatively lower, that is 65% lower than the male literacy, which is 82%. And this survey is not an ancient one. Let me repeat, this is the 2015 survey, and still we have such a less rate of literacy, even after providing all kind of free and compulsory education. Gender gap, India fell 21 places on the index to 108, far below the global average. And to have a look at this, let me not read everything, but the rape cases is 34,651, attempted rape 4,437, dowry deaths 7,634, etc., as shown on the screen. So this is really heart-aching because these are a fact of 2015 alone. So based on these facts, the government has taken initiative of asking people to sign the petition online. So this was the petition which was asked to be signed online from the Union HRD of India. So this is based on those issues, based on the facts and figures. They wanted to what is the reason that people think there is a gender inequality or so much of difference, so much of violence against women. So that petition was asked to fill in online. So the result, it goes like this, as printed in the Deccan Herald in 2015. So women are not safe in India today. Yes, people do agree that women are not at all safe in India. 74% of them say that yes, women are very unsafe. In our country, the field crimes against women are increasing every day. And what is the reason then? What is the reason why is that women are not safe? The root cause of this issue is people say 41% of the people say that they have lack of respect towards women. And that is why there is an increase in crime rates. And okay, if there is a lack of respect, then who plays a key role in creating a safer environment for women? So 80% of the people feel that yes, the society itself plays a key role in creating a safer environment for women. And 93% of them say that teaching young girls and boys to respect the other gender will make things safer and better for women. So this was the idea behind why all the academic institutions or all the academic sectors are stressing on the gender sensitization issue. Why should we know about gender sensitization issue? So this is about the enhancement of gender sensitization issue. So when we look into why we need gender sensitization issue to be taken so seriously, it is because it is one of the main elements to question the existence of women at a fundamental level. So who is doing that? Who is actually the main reason who are questioning the existence? It is found that this whole issue raises very dominantly through patriarchy. I hope you're aware of patriarchy. Let me not drag this. So patriarchy has been the biggest challenge for women right now. So it's a hegemonic system of power relations based on gender norms, which establishes the expected roles of men and women. So patriarchy is something which is really powerful, which is dominating from generations, and it is creating something like its own norm, gender norms, where everybody are blindly supposed to follow. So that's the biggest strength of patriarchy. It's also a social system where man holds the primary power. So whatever is designed, whatever is formulated, whatever is being practiced is because man decides that, and he owns all the powerful position. And it's a system where women is viewed and qualified as a minority, though they are not statistically minority. So women are considered minority in whatever they take up, though they are not a statistical minority. The number is same, but the ability, the potential, the permission the men are given to women is very less, and they are considered as minority under patriarchy. So if patriarchy is seen as the main issue, main factor, fundamental element, because of which there is a lot of gender inequality, then where are the branches of the patriarchy lying? So when we look into that, it is the legal issue, it's the political, sexual, economic, familial, and cultural issues where the patriarchy has laid its branches. And there is no point in escaping from these different spheres, which is dominated by patriarchy. So coming to one by one the issues. So the first one, for instance, legal and political issues. Though we have so many constitutions, so many acts right now, it is still the inherited properties. When we come to legal and political issue, it is still the inherited properties are owned by men, and the work policies and allotment, the decision making when it comes to political system is mostly men. With great difficulty and fight and struggle, women gets into that position. And being higher authorities are mostly men, and 90% of them are still men. Economic and cultural background. So when we talk about economic and cultural factors or cultural spheres, gender pay gap. Even today, we see that women are paid less. They are considered as cheap labor compared to men. The practices adopted to treat women as a cheap labor, and women in media. Very vague example would be just we know all popular celebrities on screen where female actors are paid really less than male actors. However good they are, they survive more, irrespective of their age. But female actors, irrespective of being very, very beautiful, they are paid less. They are considered as a lesser commodity. So coming to sexism. Sexism is about discrimination based on sex, where one sex is superior. They consider one sex superior to the other sex. And they also call few people as sex workers, where the government says, yes, it is also a kind of employment. But these employment are such that they don't have any promotion, they don't have any hike in salaries, but still they are considered as employers, they are considered as workers. So this kind of discrimination are very, very evident. Next is familial responsibilities. When it comes to familial issues or familial spheres, women are bounded by the time constraints. They cannot roam about like men. They cannot come at the time whichever they want to. They cannot escape from responsibilities and duties. And they have their own limitations with respect to health. No special attention or special actions are provided with regard to women's health and the occupation. When they select their occupation, when they make choices regarding their future, they have to be very specific. They have to look into what is right for their family. They have to look into what is right for their responsibility, and then only proceed. And achievements. It's not very easy to manage family and achievements together. And to do so, women have to sacrifice a lot of things. So that is the bias which is being created from the patriarchal branches. So next, coming to some more examples which I want to share. There's one ad which I think you have seen already in TV. This is a Vim ad where the man is projected to be giving the women an opportunity to make choice of her own occupation. So he wants to give her a chance of doing what she desires to. She has an idea of being a businesswoman, and he gives her a chance only when she completes her household work. So this is what women are projected like. This is not like men are allowing women to go and pursue their dreams. This is only after they satisfy the family responsibilities, satisfy men, they are allowed to make choices. So this is how media is projecting women too. Next, coming to another issue where the women were suffering a lot at home, at workplace, and many sectors. That is the Me Too issue, which I think you all remember. That was in February 2018, where everybody started to tell about their struggle, share about their sorrows of how they were abused in different sectors online. So when women silently, this is an issue where women started silently raising their voice together, united, and sharing what was happening. Those silent struggle was shared on the media. And the projection of the gender issue during the childhood. How do you actually buy things for your children? That also has a greater impact on why we are struggling hard for gender equality. It's very normal and it is very common that when you have to gift a child who's a girl, you'll definitely take something like a kitchen set or a toy teddy bear or something like that. Toys are also made biased when you actually purchase for them. And when you give gifts to a child who's a boy, you tend to give him a gun or a car. Or why is this discrimination? Where is it starting from? So when I look back, yes, it is also a practice which has come from the patriarchal exercise. So this is how it starts. And when we allow our child to grow like this with such a design of their childhood, and how do we expect gender equality when they grow up? That is another question. So I would like to put Malala Yousafzai. I raise my voice not so I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard. We cannot succeed when half of us are held back. Very true. Now at this point of time, I would like to thank all those men who were behind these successful women. When we say successful women, are women privileged then? Are they always underprivileged, or have they any privileges? So yes, we say yes, women are privileged. Women are privileged in two ways. They are by birth privileged for being women, and they are also acquired. They have acquired the privilege. So let us see more about the privilege for women. Today we see a lot of successful people, a lot of successful women who are the role models today after a long struggle, after a long sacrifice. So when I say privilege, we talk about biological privilege and constitutional privilege. When said about biological privilege, it is quite innate. The privileges like, yes, the quality of motherhood a woman has, the beauty. And when it comes to constitutional privilege right now, with so much of effort with the support of men and women both, now we have acquired so many articles which help women under maternity relief, employment, nutrition, and many more. So we have something called institutional privilege, which is a connection to from the constitutional privilege, where we have shelters, we have rehabilitation centers from NGOs, and we have educational institutions where they are actually helping women to pursue. So there's another quote from Drew Gilpin Faust, President, Harvard University. She says, "I'm not the women president of Harvard, I'm the president of Harvard. There is a tendency for men, whenever the woman is privileged, they have this tendency of calling, she's the only woman so-and-so, she's the only woman achiever. So that itself is a wider description of, a wider discrimination identity for a woman. So privilege now becomes a challenge too. Women have privilege, yes, women have privilege, but privilege itself is a challenge to women. And let's see why. So we'll first move on to biological privilege. How biological privilege, even though she has a mother caring nature, even though she has so much beauty and reproductive gift from God biologically, she's still feeling that as a challenge. Why? Because whenever women talk about biological privilege, they are viewed as a weakness in most of the private sectors. And they are considered despair in the individual achievement race when they cannot compete with the other male candidates. She's again considered biologically weak, biologically unprivileged. A commodity in media, biological privilege. Yes, women do have beauty, and that is used as a commodity in media most of the time. And she has also been a victim in social media. So biological privilege has also been a challenge to women. Now, coming to constitutional privilege. Yes, Constitution has given us courage to claim. Constitution has given us space to raise our voice. Constitution has given us laws against domestic violence, the alimony issues, many things. But what is the challenge here is she courageous enough to claim whatever the Constitution has given? If there is a violence against women on the road, is she ready to go and lodge a complaint against that particular person which happened to her? No. So though the Constitution has given us privilege, women are not in a position, women are so oppressed that they are not able to use the constitutional privilege. And coming to institutional privilege. So when we talk about NGOs which are helping women, that is also a privilege, again a challenge, because yes, Constitution is giving privilege. Like for example, there is a 16-year-old girl who goes to the court, who actually gets justice, and what next? That is the question. When she comes back, how is the society treating her? Okay, there's an educated woman who is divorcee, who's a divorcee. She has got justice. She has got a justice against the violence which she had faced at her home. Now, after getting justice, women is still being viewed as a imperfect person in the society. She is viewed as a divorcee alone and not as a woman who has got a justice. So that is the lack of constitutional privilege. That is again, the privilege is becoming a challenge again. So after the Constitution gives her, after the Constitution giving justice, where are these women going? When the society is not accepting them, what is the next alternative? So there comes the institutional privilege where some NGOs are helping them. But after the NGO, after she comes out as an individual person from the NGO, who is accepting her? That's again a challenge. So there's one more important quote which I would like to present on the screen. Gloria Steinem says, "We have begun to raise daughters more like sons, but few have the courage to raise our sons more like our daughters." And that's very important when it comes to gender sensitization. I would like to conclude with my last slide. I would as I have observed, kids grow up by looking at what we do. So when a kid is growing with his or her father being attentive, just like their mother, she or he will sense the gender issue as a normal one and not a biased one. So kids are raised up by looking at us. And when a child is looking at his father or her father hitting his or his mother, so he would just think that yes, it is right for hitting, right? When he grows up, he would just consider it taking for granted to hit a lady or to hit his wife, just like what his father did. So I would conclude saying that yes, gender sensitization is for social justice, and it comprises of empowerment of both men and women, integrates and brings out an interdisciplinary approach to understand the social and cultural constructions of gender that shapes the experience of men and women in society, generates the awareness in regard to equality in law, social system, and democratic activities. I hope I am clear in presenting what I have understood regarding gender sensitization in the given time. I would like to thank once again the principal and management of both the colleges. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
We are so honored and privileged to have you in the session. Thank you, ma'am, for your informative sharings. I'm profusely elated to take this opportunity to introduce Dr. T.C. Thangachan, Associate Professor of St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala. The man with a distinct vision and a fountainhead of illuminating ideas, an idol of knowledge, experience, and inspiration to all of us. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to Dr. T.C. Thangachan, sir, to carry over the next session.
Good morning. Good morning, friends. Good morning, Dr. Sister Priya Matthew, Principal of our college. Dr. Priya Matthew, Principal of St. Joseph's College of Education, Mysore. And Snehidaru Subodaya, my friends from Mysore. Let me start my presentation without any introduction of the topic. Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right.
Okay. Then the principal of College of Education, Mysore, Dr. Priya Matthew, analyzed the concept gender equality. It's a human issue, not a women's issue. So there are three stages of seeing that issue. Earlier it was known as a women's issue. Then after 2000, nearly up to 2015, it was considered as a human issue. It was considered as a human issue. So in this society, we say that it's a moral issue. It's a moral issue. So can you see the video? No. Then what happened? Okay. St. Joseph's College of Education, please show my screen. Who is hosting there? Turn to my screen. The screen of St. Joseph's is here.
So please select the present now button on the right side of the screen and you can
I have
share your screen.
not started my screen sharing.
But your video is not visible, sir. Have to unmute your video.
Yes, video is unmuted.
Now it is visible.
It is visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But there is some problem here, I think.
Sir, your presentation screen is visible but empty screen. You can try it again now, sir.
Okay. But something is happened here, I think. Okay, no problem. No need, no problem. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is audible.
Okay. Some problem with my PPT, I think that's all. Okay, no problem. I'll send the PPT to you after my presentation. So I would like to start with the concept. The problem of women, it was there earlier. Now also we have some of the problems or issues related to women. Technically, it is known as a human issue, but highly speaking, or at the point of view of values, we speak that it's a moral issue. So, in different presentations, we have learned what is meant by this sensitization, especially in terms of gender. Actually, it is changing the mindset of male or mindset of a female related to the opposite or the other gender. So, normally speaking, we say that the goal of this gender sensitization, the goal of gender sensitization. People say that gender equality is the goal of gender sensitization, but I say better to say that social justice is the goal of gender sensitization. Social justice. For acquiring social justice, the prerequisite is equality, gender equality. So to acquire this gender equality, another prerequisite is there, that is equity. So when we speak about equity, there comes the privileges given to people, maybe to male or female, whatever it is. So giving some privileges, giving some opportunities, giving some special packages, everything comes under equity. Equality means giving the same platform for all. So equity is a prerequisite for ensuring equality. Then at the same time, for ensuring this equity, what we need? For ensuring equity, we need fraternity. Fraternity here means almost equal concern for the gender. At the same time, keeping the spirit of brotherhood is also a concern for fraternity. For ensuring fraternity, we need another prerequisite, that is called respect. For respecting the other gender, it is better to say that accept. So when our Shalom ma'am has presented, she analyzed four major things, like women are not safe in India today. Why? The reason, the root cause of this issue. Then who plays a key role in creating safer environment for women? Okay. 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 Who plays a key role in creating the safer environment for women? Many people say that the society. The society. Then creating safer environment for women. Teach the young girls and boys to respect the other gender. That was her presentation. One of the points in her presentation. So respecting the gender, respecting the other gender is one of the prerequisites for fraternity. Then the in the very beginning, we say that accepting the features, accepting the feelings, accepting the emotional competencies, accepting the qualities, that also is should be there in the minimum. So when we go for sensitization or gender sensitization as a process, definitely we should start with accept, then go to respect, then go for the level of fraternity, then for equity, equality, then finally social justice. So this is the style or the strategy in which we are expected to follow in the process of gender sensitization. So when we analyze the history of this gender justice, or gender social justice or sensitization process in the finest level, the very beginning, the very basic level of sensitization is lays with respect to the exploitative style of the society. So in many presentations, we have already heard that why women are exploited, why violence against women, what are the reasons like the patriarchal form of society and all. So the exploitative nature of the society is there. It is everywhere in all the societies, in Indian society, in Kerala society or Kannada society, it is there. From the gender exploitative society to gender neutral society. People are not bothered about whether he belongs to the male gender or the female gender or the transgender. This is called a gender neutral attitude. So suppose if a person is there in the position or in the status, we are not concerned about that person, whether he is a male or female or what it, she is female, male or female or the transgender or the other gender. So the policy of gender neutrality is the second level. And the gender sensitive level is the third level. There we accommodate the qualities, features, and at the same time changing the mindset of the society, changing the mindset of the individuals. So the third level, a gender sensitive society will come. Then finally, a gender transformative society will come. A gender transformative society. So then what does it mean? Gender transformative society. There are some features of the gender transformative societies. One of the major features is accept, respect, and uphold feature of the transformative society. I have already analyzed, explained what is accepting and respecting the gender perspectives, gender roles, gender ideologies, gender theories and all. Then upholding the ideology at the same time, upholding the attitude, upholding the policy of tolerance, upholding the policy of fraternity. So this is one transformative model. It can be termed as ARU model, accept, respect, and uphold model. Then another gender transformative model is there, that is called the triple I model. Triple I model. Triple I means English capital I. First I is information. Second is influence. Third is initiative. What does it mean? So information, knowledge, or knowledge related societies. Here it means we know that the largest industry of the world is knowledge industry. Knowledge industry is the largest industry of the world. All the other industries are supported by knowledge industry. Even it is medical, technological, educational, human welfare, sociological, whatever it is. There is a knowledge background in all the disciplines, all the areas of thought. So in gender sensitization process, in social justice, social equality, there also is a knowledge. For example, our Shalom madam has explained some of the legal frameworks, the constitutional frames for this gender equality and equity concerns. So all of you are very much aware of a very famous act which was passed in 1929, which was called the Sharada Act. Before Sharada Act, the age for there was an age restriction for marriage. Minimum age for marriage, especially for girls or women, it was below 15 at that period. In 1929, the Sharada Act passed by British Parliament here. Due to that act, the age has become 15 years for marriage, especially for women. Then in 1978, Government of India passed an act and the age was raised to 18. Now it is 18 for women and 21 for male. Then now in 2020, government is planning to, they have appointed a committee to study about this issue for giving equal chances for both male and female. I think this year itself, the new law will come. There, the age of marriage for women will be 21 and men also will be 21. So, knowledge about these acts, the rules, the regulations, at the same time, we have learned many things related to what we say, the sustainable development goals. We need to know about the sustainable development goals, especially the number 5 of the sustainable development goals. Our Priya Madam has analyzed the 17 sustainable development goals in her felicitation speech. Number 5 is more important here. It is gender equality. Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. That is the target. Why we need to go for this gender equality? In the global level, exploitation is happening. Equity concerns are not satisfied. Justice, social justice is not prevalent. So that is a must. This gender equality is a must. So knowledge about these equality concerns and principles, especially the rules, the regulations, the laws, the customs, the conventions, everything, the system, the theories, the ideologies, we should know about everything. That is the first level, which is called information level. So those who are having this information should have influence among others or influence over others. We call influence as power, the capabilities and all. So this influence will make people not only aware of, but also will get a chance to act. Then the people with more influence can become good models in the society, good models. So modeling also will come as part of this influence. Then the third dimension is called initiative. Initiative means action-based principles. I'll give a small example from this webinar itself. Fortunately, I have noticed the schedule. So in the schedule also, the resource person selected from 2 colleges, 1 male, 1 female. Students for presentation, poster and paper presentation, 1 male, 1 female. This is a small initiative. In every program, if there is a chance, so accept this policy as an initiative. So a gender preparedness based initiatives that can be applied. So this is called the III model of the transformative gender sensitization process. Then there is a new concept, that is an evolving concept, that is competency based social justice. Competency based social justice. See, when we speak about gender equality and gender equity, we are concerned about giving some privileges to men or women for making equality or ensuring equality. At the same time, people, those who are more competent, you know that there are a number of women who are more competent in the freedom struggle of India, more competent in preparation of the rules and regulations, the more competent CEOs, the more competent institutional heads, administrative heads, the more competent emotional supporters in the family. So this is the concept of competency-based social justice. Here, justice is based on the competencies of the concerned person, not whether that person is a part of male group or the female group. So competency-based. Then another transformative model is called reflective morality transformative model. Reflective morality model. There comes 2 major concepts, the moral male and the moral female. The moral male is a person who respect the female counterparts. The moral female is also a person who accept and respect the male. So the mutual give and take respect, that is the base of moral male and the moral female. Actually, the concept of gender-related justice or gender-related social justice is there in the new paradigms of moral male and the moral female. So why in the gender sensitization process women are more concentrated than men? I think men also should be concentrated in this context. Why women are more concentrated? Number one reason is they own just 1% of the world's land. The ownership is one of the major concerns. The ownership of the land, only 1% of women, that is the concern. See, the 99% is owned by male. Then, when we speak about the literacy, Shalom Madam has explained the literacy rate and the level. I am not going for that, so I am skipping that. I would say 875 million of women, those who are not able to read and write. That is another issue. Why they are more concentrated. Then every 2 minutes, one dies during pregnancy or childbirth. This is another issue. So women are concentrated. They are given with a number of what we say privileges. Then I would like to concentrate another aspect. Especially in the India's gender slide, you have noticed it was a big news in the media. What are the conditions of the Brics nations? You all know that which are the Brics nations: the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These are the 5 nations, Brics nations. What is the gender rank or the gender rank, especially in terms of global gender gap index? You might have heard about global gender gap index. The World Economic Forum has studied about this and developed a package, and the report is out. There, the condition of India is not so good. The economic participation in the gender index, our rank is only 139. See, the South Africa, the rank of South Africa is 19. Russia 71, Brazil 90, and China 100. Our rate is so below compared to the other Brics nations. Then educational attainment. We know that we have only 65.38% of literacy in India for women. Men it is more than 82. The educational attainment rank, it is only 112. Then health and survival, rank 141. Health and survival, rank 41. That means in the health concerns, the health targets, we need more sensitization. Then in only one area, we are almost higher. That is in the context of political environment and political empowerment. So we know that in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, at the same time, the state legislative assemblies, the number of women are comparatively less. But in local self-government, the number is high. That may be the reason by which we got rank 50. So this is the answer to why women are more concentrated in the gender sensitivity aspects and gender sensitivity discussions. See, I told you earlier related to the gender equality, gender equity, some of the concerns for the gender transformative models. Then what we need to do? We need a 4-pillar based implementation strategy. 4-pillar based implementation strategy. People who are in colleges of education are aware of these 4-pillar based implementation strategies. We need a strong foundation of vision, mission, values, and strategies. These are the four pillars. Vision, mission, values, and strategies. What is the vision? All these aspects, the aspects that we have already discussed, should contribute towards social justice and equality. That is the vision. What can be the mission? One of the missions are democratizing the society and democratizing the control and use of resources. That means almost equal distribution of resources without considering gender. Suppose if women are not underprivileged here, the mission is to give more democratization in the control and use of resources among them. Then what is the value? Value is equity, democracy, social justice, and gender equality. These are the four major values to be considered. Then what are the strategies? The strategies are partnerships. One of the strategies is partnerships. So we know that we have good partnership with St.Joseph College of Education, Mysore. We hope that it is our sister institution. You also can say that our institution is your sister or brother institution. So partnership with institutions, partnership with communities, then partnerships and local global networking, then undertaking similar ideas, ideologies, researches, policies, then sharing the institutional capacity. This can be a four-pillar based strategy for gender sensitization. So I am concluding my presentation here. I have some quotes also to be discussed with you. So it is given in the slide. I will share the slide because I have some problem with my mobile, not able to share. So in my conclusion, I would like to say that the four principles are to be there for the 21st century gender related social justice. The five principles. We all know that. These are the five principles already discussed in the National Policy on Education 2020. So related to gender social justice, access with respect to educational institutions, equity, equality, affordability, and accountability. These are the five major principles. So let me conclude with a very famous thought by Emma Watson. All of you are aware of Emma Watson. She is very famous actress. She's a very famous model and an activist from France. And you are familiar with her face in Harry Potter series of movies and videos. And she said that it is the time that we all see gender as a spectrum instead of two sets of opposing ideals. It's a time that we all see gender as a spectrum instead of two sets of opposing ideals. The two sets of opposing ideals means male or female. That is the idea, the gender fraternity, accepting, respecting, and upholding the positions and ideas and ideologies. So see gender as the gender as a spectrum. See gender as a spectrum than the opposing ideals. So thank you very much. I'll share my PPT with you in your WhatsApp group. It will be shared. Thank you for hearing me. Dhanyavada, my friends from Karnataka. I hope you all are fine there. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Thangajan sir. We feel really honored to hear from you. Now, I invite Mr. Sanat Solomon, B.Ed student of St. Joseph's College of Education, Mysore, who takes good initiatives and actually actively involved in college activities to present the poster.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Sanat, please continue.
Is the screen visible clearly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Good morning, everyone. So let me start with my topic, and thank you for introducing me. As I got this opportunity to talk in this webinar, I want to share my views and talk on a topic that is gender equality. So these are my conclusions. I have taken only few points on which basis you can prove that men and women are equal. So starting with my first slide, as you can see, my first brains. So what is brains? Brain is something which is installed of everything. Without brain, it cannot function. So as you can see in the poster there, it says equal where it matters. So what is equal where it matters? As you can see, a man and woman standing next to each other. Their bodies are completely different. A man is symbolized by a square type of a body, and a woman is uh, symbolized by a triangle shape of a body. But as you can see, there is an equal sign. The equal sign is in the region of the head. So why there is an equal sign in the region of the head? Because there might be a there is a lot of physical difference between the body of a man and a woman. But when it comes to the head region, that is, when it comes to brain, both can function equally. And women have been proven that from histories, women have proven that they have brains, they can use brains, they can use the brain much more than what man is used. So that's the equal sign that is representing the equal where it matters, which means judge a man and woman not by their bodies but with the brains. For example, as we can see, many women who are scientists, teachers, politicians, IAS, IPS officers, they did not get into these positions by doing some physical activities like showing off showing off the muscles or lifting weights or moving boulders or any much such physical abilities, but by using brains. So if there is any competition that should be held between man and woman, let it be between the brains. Scientifically, there is a lot of difference between physical nature of men and women. Women cannot do everything that a man can do physically. That is not applicable when it comes to brains. Woman has much more knowledge and wisdom, and she has proven from all history till now that she can do much very well. For example, we know many scientists like Marie Curie, and you know the computer which we are using programmed by women. A bunch of women together programmed the computer, coded the programming for computer. So such a difficult task was initiated by women. So woman has all the capacity in her mind, which is the brains. So let us judge men and women not according to the physical abilities, but brains. So next is choices. So what is this choices? As you can see in the poster there is a man and woman standing and both having the same legs. Logically thinking, both cannot have same legs, but here it's a symbolical representation. A man and indicates an equal sign. So what is that equal sign in the region of a leg indicating? Man always had a free choice to choose what he wants and what he wants to pursue, his goals, his aims, everything. And he had always had the freedom to go around and do whatever he wants, like whatever he wants to achieve, whatever he wants to get. Men had that freedom. So your leg indicates the freedom of choice freedom of walking in their own path, choosing their own path, choosing their own dream. But what about women? Women never had this opportunity in the past. It was very difficult for a woman to do whatever she wants or to choose the path which she wants or to decide what she wants or to go walk towards a goal or towards her aim. So this was very difficult in the past. But now it's not like that. Women has that equality now. Even women can choose her path. As we can see, our colleagues or our classmates everywhere there is almost equal female students, female colleagues, female participants. This was not in the case of like 50 to 100 years ago. This was not the case. But now women are equally competing with men and equally number of competition with men. This happened because she fought for her freedom. She fought for the equality. So she has the right now. She can walk wherever she wants. She can go. She can choose her own path. She can walk on the road of achieving her dreams and goals. Nobody is stopping her. There are some issues there. There are some hindrances and bridges which is stopping her yet. But she's always fought and she has come this far and she'll definitely move further. The third point is voice. Voice is something everyone has. So we usually use our voice while communicating, but this voice is something else. So men have used their voice from ancient times for many reasons. And one of the reasons is to shed the voice of a woman. Men never allowed women to speak. You all know that. So the picture in the slide clearly shows that women need equality of raising their voice. As you can see, the mustache and the lipstick. The mustache is something uh, men, and the lipstick is of women. And these both forms an equal sign, the mustache and lipstick, which means to say women also want equality in raising her voice. What if only men raise their voice? Women also want the equality to raise their voice, at least defend herself. As we know that India is the largest democratic nation, there is a act that gives a right to freedom of speech. But how many really accept that fact that women are really having the right of freedom of speech? So women are usually shut by the society. Women are not allowed to speak, not even allowed to defend herself. So now the time has changed. Women are using their voice for the welfare of the nation, not only for the welfare of the nation, but fight against the corruption and also to have to rule the nation. There are many women rulers. For example, like Indira Gandhi, Hillary Clinton, Sonia Gandhi, etc. All these women raise their voices, and with the power and with the mind they have in this position. Not only that, as we can see here, many localites, for example, it might be teachers, politicians, scientists, all the women raise their voice for this reason. And sorry, and women also should raise their voice for our freedom, for the justice, and also to express our feelings. Women never allowed to express her feelings. Only man was allowed to talk whatever he wants, but woman, whatever she feels like, even if it is something insecure, she was not allowed to talk about it. But it's not like that now. She can raise her voice to express her emotions, her feelings, and also to achieve what she wants and to defend herself from all the dangers the society is causing. She can raise her voice now. The next slide is perspective. As we can see from the poster here, there is a W and M. W stands for and M stands for men. If you turn the slide upside down, the M becomes W and the W becomes M. You can judge by putting it upside down that the W stands for woman and M stands for men. So what does it mean here? So it means it is all inside the mind of a human being. What is our perception towards the topic? From ancient times, it has been passed down to generations of generations. That women are something weak. Man is the head of the family. Man is the better. Man is good at doing. This is the This is the mentality that has been passed down from generations to generation. For example, if this example is something related to students, if a boy fails in an exam, they'll give him an. But if a girl fails in the exam, the parents, they start preparing for her to get up. One type of wrong perception in the head of the people, thinking that okay, men can be given chances, but not women. So this is all related to people. This all should be changed. If a man can walk up and roam around in the night time till 10 o'clock, but women should be inside the house within 6 o'clock. This is also perception. And even as Shalom told, toys, regarding toys, men are given only cars, guns, etc. But women are always, given the dolls like some teddy bears, etc. Women are never asked, females are never asked what you like or what you want to do, etc. So this is one example for perspective. So it depends on our mind. Yeah. It's no so what we feel now is we almost perception, almost good perception. It's no more a male dominated society now. It is somewhat a society. There is some places where still there is a male domination, but in many of the places it is equalized society where men and women work together for the better well-being and to build up a better world for the future generations. The next part is freedom. So recently we celebrated our Independence Day, remembering the freedom. Country freedom, but what about women? Does women really have that freedom? Freedom of choice, freedom of doing what I want, freedom of choosing a occupation, or freedom of choosing a life partner, whatever it is, etc. So does women to do what she wants? So the picture here says clearly the poster. As you can see, the iron ball there. The iron ball has a chain, and the chain was chained to the leg of a woman. She was changed for a very much longer time, and the woman now finally, flying. She's flying with a beautiful wings towards the equality sign. As you can see, there is an equal sign in the sun. Why the equal sign is in the sun? Because the equality concept for a woman in those days was something like they thought they couldn't achieve it. It is so far as it is. Our sun is so far from the earth. But now she finally broke the iron ball. The iron ball represents the society, the male-dominated society, and all the hindrances and troubles that women has faced. So she finally broke the iron ball with the chain, and she's flying towards the equal sign. But she's not still achieved it. As we can see, she's still flying to it, but she's not completely achieved it. Why? Why? Because as our previous speakers, Shalomam and Dr. Sir spoke that there are still many percentage of differences in education of a man and woman, etc. So when all these problems are completely solved, then the woman will finally reach the equal sign, and she will definitely achieve the freedom. And as you can see the poster here, this is the poster that I made. I dedicated this poster to all women on Women's Day. So all the points which I explained come together in this single poster, and this poster says it all. So I want to conclude saying this is not about domination. It's not about dominating each other, but working equally with each other. Men working with women and women working with men for something greater, to build up a nation, a future, and pass it to the coming generations. So with this, I want to end my topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanat, for the poster presentation. We are so privileged to have a presentation by Ms. Blessing Jackson, President, Women's Cell of St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala. She constantly put efforts to coordinate all the activities of Women's Cell. She is unique with different ideas and thoughts with respect to new initiatives. Blessing, I cordially invite you for the paper presentation.
A very good morning to one and all. I'm Bleslin Jackson, and I'm going to present a paper based on the topic Gender Sensitization and Social Justice. So, hearty welcome to all. Gender remains as a critically important and largely discussed topic across the globe. Often people perceive sex and gender through the same lens and often forget that sex refers to a set of biological attributes in humans and gender refers to the socially constructed roles of the humans, as Mr. Sanath has already discussed. The root cause for all the atrocities against the both sexes and the root cause of gender discrimination is the lack of gender sensitivity. So, the Article 1 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights states that all human beings are born free and equal. Regarding to this statement, Osho says that the Declaration of Human Rights basically means that mankind still lives in many kinds of slaveries. Otherwise, there would be no need for the declaration. The very need indicates that man has been deceived for thousands of years, and he has been deceived in such a cunning way that unless you rise above humanity, you cannot see in what invisible chains humanity is living, in what bondage, in what invisible prisons everybody is confined. And gender roles are a kind of such invisible prisons constructed by the humankind and shaped by the cultural agents from time immemorial. And the writer Judith Butler says that masculine and feminine roles are not biologically fixed but socially constructed and thrived from time to time through gender stereotypes. So let's see what are those stereotypes. We can see that there are a lot of gender stereotypes that is labeled as feminine and masculine. Let's see the gender stereotypes that prevail even today to some extent. The male stereotype is described through the 3 P's: provider, protector, procreator. Men can be nurturing and loving. They are not very compassionate. Society often portrayed men as the breadwinner of the family. The breadwinning status was a role. It was a burden imposed to them by the society from time immemorial. Many women are becoming financially independent. We know that even today, roles are changing. It is reversing. Jobs like teaching, nursing, which demand compassion, nurturing and care, are taken up by men as well. We also have certain misassumptions that boys don't cry. No, feeling every emotion is natural and necessary. Suppressing emotions can hamper one's physical as well as mental health. Another misperception is that dolls are not for boys. No, it provides boys chance to become sensitive to others' feelings. Another commonly seen misassumption is that cooking is for girls. No, it's a life skill that should be attained by everyone, irrespective of a sex and gender. Another misassumption is that working women should balance both work and home. No, both are responsible for home and its responsibilities. It's a combined effort of both individuals that realize the ideal of a home. Another misconception is that women are not mentally strong. No, women personnel are inducted in NDRF. You can see the lady officer in the picture is Rekha Nambiar, and she is the head commandant of the Tamil Nadu Battalion of National Disaster Risk Response Force. We know that it is how important it is to become mentally strong in disaster management. Another commonly seen misconception is that women are not rational and logical. No, we have both Ramanujan as well as Shakuntala Devi. So, what we must keep in mind is that every individual is unique. Every individual is unique with biological as well as individual differences. Having a girl's body does not teach one to do household work or care for others. Having a boy's body does not ensure that they will be fearless, intelligent, and strong. These qualities are learned and taught to us at different stages in our lives within the family, schools, community, and so on. It is one's upbringing that determines how one grows and what one becomes. So now I'm going to share with you a short video which will disseminate the core aspects of gender sensitivity. So let's watch.
Gender sensitivity. A patient is talking to his male nurse. All your vitals are fine for now. You will be better by next week.
Thank you, doctor.
I'm not your doctor. I'm the nurse.
Really? I thought only women could be nurses.
Why is that?
Well, women are better caretakers. After all, they usually do the cooking, cleaning, and caring of the family. So wouldn't it make sense for them to take care for the patients and not to treat them?
That is not true. Men can be good caretakers as well. And to be good husbands and fathers, they should consistently help out around the house.
But shouldn't the husband have a higher salary than his wife so that he can support his family? Therefore, shouldn't men be the doctors?
That is not necessary. This job pays well and it helps me support my family financially.
I also feel women are more emotional, so they bond with the patients better.
Men can be equally emotional as well. It depends from person to person. Times are changing. Men can take care of the house and women can take care of the family finances. She does not have to rely on a man to take care of her anymore. The traditional roles of both genders are changing, and people can now decide which role they want to play in their family.
Ah, I see. I am sorry for my assumptions.
That is all right. Gender sensitivity. A
Leslie, I think he has completed.
Okay, ma'am. I will conclude. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for the patience.
Thank you so much, Bleslin, for your valuable presentation on gender sensitization and social justice. Now, I invite Ms. Priya Joseph, Secretary, Women's Cell of St. Thomas College of Teacher Education, Pala, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A gender equal society would be one where the word gender does not exist, where everyone can be themselves. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. Let me first of all give glory to the Almighty for making today's occasion a resounding success. First and foremost, I thank the management and Diocese of St. Thomas College of Teacher Education and St. Joseph College of Education for organizing such a webinar. My heartfelt thanks to Mr. Sebi Maveli, CEO of St. Joseph College of Education, and the MD and manager the official party. I thank the principal
St. Thomas College of Teacher Education for her support and commitment. My heartfelt thanks to the Principal, St. Joseph College of Education for her valuable presence. We are much grateful to the resource person, Dr. T.C. Thanishan, the Vice Principal, a teacher blended with academic profile. I also express my gratitude to the resource person, Mrs. Shalam Senta, Assistant Professor, who gave valuable information. To Dr. Lavina Dominic and Ms. Asha P. Patros, IQAC Coordinator, for the guidance and valuable contribution in all the efforts. I thank Dr. Sunu Austin, Ms. Anne Jaishila, Women's Cell Coordinators, for the immense support at every point of time in the organization of the event. I extend my thanks to Mr. Sanath Solomon, the student representative, who made an informative poster presentation. President, to the head of all varieties and my friends for all the cooperation in making this webinar a resounding success. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you so much, everyone, for your cooperation and support throughout this webinar. Your presence made this webinar memorable. Thank you so much for listening, for inspiring, for encouraging, for being here, and most importantly, for giving your time and making your presence. Now, let's all rise for the National Anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thus, our webinar has come to an end now. Once again, thank you all for your cooperation and support throughout this program. Thank you so much.